Assalamualaikum and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here are our headlines for tonight. Sarawak expects 3 million visitors by the end of the year. Prime Minister assures that crime rate in the country will not rise, and 6 stabbed to death in China. With me, Yusuf Shukri for TVS Nightline. Top of the hour, 6 people, including 3 children, were stabbed to death and at a kindergarten in China's Lianjiang city. The other victims were a teacher and 2 parents, while another is currently in medical care for severe injuries. Police said they have arrested a 25-year-old man named Wu and classified the case as intentional assault. However, the motive is yet to be elaborated. The attack took place at 7:40 a.m. Guangdong time when students were dropped for their summer classes. Wu was arrested 20 minutes later and police sealed the area for an investigation to take place. Though firearms are banned in China, the country is marred by knife attacks that particularly target students in educational institutions. Just in August last year, an attacker killed 3 and wounded 6 others at a kindergarten in Jiangxi province, while in 2021, 2 children died and 16 others were injured during a mass stabbing in Beiliu city of the Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region. Back in Malaysia, in view of the abolition of the mandatory death penalty, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim assured that this does not imply a possible increase in crime rates in the future. He added that the death sentence still exists, only it will not be automatically handed down in court and must be ruled on by a judge.
Tak ada. Hukum tu masih ada. Hukum gantung masih ada. Tapi tidak diputuskan dalam undang-undang otomatik, tapi harus didengar oleh hakim. Saya ingat lebih adil.
He said this in his keynote address at the International Malaysia Law Conference on Monday. On April 3rd, the Dewan Rakyat passed Act 846, Abolition of Mandatory Death Penalty Act, which aims to abolish the mandatory death penalty, to vary the sentence relating to imprisonment for natural life and whipping, and to provide for matters connected therewith. Under the Act, the court now has the discretion to impose the death penalty or imprisonment for a period of not less than 30 years, but not exceeding 40 years. And if the death sentence is not imposed, whippings of not less than 12 strokes will also be handed down. Sarawak Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts Minister Datuk Seri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah is optimistic that tourist arrivals to Sarawak could hit 3 million by the end year, thus exceeding the state's target of this year. The optimism came in conjunction with the upcoming ASEAN International Film Festival and Awards, AIFFA, to be held in August.
But I can say AIFFA is very, very close to us. That's a time when we bring together those who are in the film industry in ASEAN. And also that is a time when we will always bring one celebrity. So I was asking her just now, who's the celebrity this year? Honestly, despite being the minister, there are just too many things. I've not been able to get myself updated who is going to be this year, you know. But I can't announce it yet. But I believe when the name is announced, it will create a lot of interest in Sarawak especially.
Until April this year, Sarawak recorded 1.3 million tourists, an increase of 315.41% compared to the same period last year. He said this in a press conference after launching AIFFA 2023 at the National Academy of Arts, Culture and Heritage earlier today. The ASEAN International Film Festival Awards, or AIFFA, is making its highly anticipated return from August 2nd to 4th. To be held in Kuching for the 5th time, it will see 120 films compete for 12 prestigious awards, which will be presented on the final night. Of the 120 films, 34 are Malaysian films made between 2021 and 2022. The previous editions of the festival saw the attendance of top celebrities such as Jackie Chan in 2015, Donnie Yen in 2017, and Steven Seagal in 2019. On to our next news. The national carbon policy is expected to be ready for implementation this year. Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change Minister Nazmi Nik Ahmad said the policy aims to provide guidance on carbon trading at the state level, among others.
Kita akan buat secepat mungkin sebab minggu ni kita akan present kepada MyCAC yang saya kata tadi dipengerusikan oleh PM untuk kita butirkan dengan lebih lanjut lah bagaimana perjalanan kita untuk dasar karbon negara ni untuk dilaksanakan secepat mungkin sebab dia ada beberapa perkara melibatkan rundingan di peringkat antarabangsa dan sebagainya.
He added that based on the results of the discussion in the meeting to be chaired soon, the government will also examine the law enforcement requirements for regulatory aspects and monetization of carbon businesses. He said this when met after paying a courtesy call to Sarawak's Premier, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg at Wisma Bapa Malaysia here on Monday. Following the courtesy call, Nik Nazmi and Abang Johari witnessed the handing over of 8 River Corridor Rehabilitation Plan RMKS projects that had been fully completed by the Department of Irrigation and Drainage DID to the Sarawak government. The implementation of these 8 projects required a total investment of 63 million ringgit and encompassed river corridors in Batang Kayan, Batang Balingyan, Batang Sadong in Gedong and Serian towns, Batang Sadong in Simunjan, Baram River Retaining Wall, Rumah Naing, Sabtu Oya Town and Betong. The scope of work included reinforcing riverbanks to prevent erosion and ensure smooth water flow while safeguarding properties and public structures along the affected riverbanks. Moreover, the project provides added value by creating recreational areas for local residents, benefiting approximately 195,000 individuals residing in the surrounding areas.
Sarawak is recognized by the Reef Ball Foundation of the United States as the state with the longest artificial reef balls in the world. Zulkifli Muhammad Aton, the CEO of Sarawak Forestry Corporation SFC, announced that the length of the artificial reef balls is approximately 746 kilometers.
Jadi hari ini adalah satu hari yang berkat, right? Then what we do next is we're going to apply for the World Guinness Book of Record to confirm that we are one of the longest in the world. But at the point in time, we have these 2 gentlemen who confirm that we are the longest in the world.
As such, he hopes that this dream will come true, and at the moment, SFC is in the phase 2 to add further to the artificial reef balls. Meanwhile, Reef Ball Foundation Chairman Todd Ryan Barbers said it took them 3 months to conduct a study to determine the length of the artificial reef balls in Sarawak's waters in order to grant this recognition. Ryan also said a comprehensive study was carried out to make comparisons with other countries.
It took us about 3 months to do the full study because we had to compare every single other country. And so we completed that over the summer, and then Larry and I flew over here to give the reward.
He said this after paying a courtesy visit to Sarawak's Premier, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg at Wisma Bapa Malaysia on Monday.
Now, the Sarawak Heart Centre, a division of Sarawak General Hospital, has proudly earned its prestigious place among the top 100 hospitals in the Asia-Pacific region for 2023, as announced by the renowned American magazine Newsweek. In regards to this, Deputy Premier Sarawak, Datuk Seri Dr. Sim Koo Hian, said this remarkable achievement serves as a testament to the exceptional competence of the Sarawak government in the realm of healthcare.
Dr. Sim, who is also the State Minister of Public Health, Housing and Local Government, further said that if Sarawak is given the opportunity to fight for health autonomy, the Sarawak government will be able to manage hospitals more effectively. According to him, the ranking in Newsweek's American edition demonstrates Sarawak's strength in managing the Sarawak Heart Centre.
It means that Sarawakian ourselves, if we give us opportunity, we know how to run our hospital. And we not only know how to run our hospital, we run a world-class standard.
He told reporters after attending the strategy briefing on Sarawak's post-COVID development plan for 2030. Regarding the development of the Sarawak Cancer Centre, he said that the Sarawak government has signed an agreement with the federal government, whereby the Sarawak government will fund the construction costs upfront, and the federal government will allocate the appropriate funding to Sarawak for other projects in the state. He revealed that he has sent a letter to the Federal Ministry of Health at the request of Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, and he will also meet with Sarawak's Premier Datuk Padinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg to discuss further actions, and the decision will be announced by Abang Johari.
But I hope that we want to accelerate the whole process, because our patient, our cancer patient in Sarawak, right, cannot wait until keep waiting for political decision, because no decision and then we won't have cancer. Our people it's long overdue.
He asserted that Sarawak at least should be given the opportunity to prove that it is also capable of effectively managing the Sarawak Cancer Centre, as Sarawak has many outstanding medical experts. Should the cancer centre is being developed, he expressed confidence that it will succeed.
Now, the Limbang Regatta will make a comeback in 2025 and is set to introduce Limbang as the main water sports destination in Sarawak. Bukit Kota Assemblyman Datuk Dr. Abdul Rahman Ismail said the Limbang Regatta, which has a high rate of participation from Brunei, Sabah and Labuan, is one of the most awaited events in Sarawak to attract local and foreign visitors.
According to him, the regatta will be organised after the completion of the Limbang waterfront project, which is currently under construction.
Kita memang sekian lama lakon mengadakan program air, sukan air di bahagian Limbang ini daripada dulu yang kita panggil regatta. Melalui pesta Limbang, pesta lawas yang kita adakan sebelum COVID bergilir-gilir.
A total of 12 events involving 30 participants from Brunei, Lawas and Limbang joined the speedboat competition. More than 2,000 visitors flooded Kampung Telahak to witness the events.
Coming up right after the break, why BGK gets 10 million ringgit allocation, and in world news, US-UK bond to address climate issues. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim announced an allocation of 10 million ringgit to the National Legal Aid Foundation, or YBGK, to assist those who cannot afford legal services. Since its operation in 2012, the YBGK has seen hundreds of thousands of individuals being represented in criminal proceedings.
Saya lihat ramai, umpamanya kadang-kadang kes kecil, tapi tiada ada peguam tertangguh kerana tak dapat mempertahankan dan membela diri mereka. Jadi kerana saya tengok ramai sangat tidak dapat peluang peroleh bantuan keguaman.
He added that access to justice has been greatly enhanced with YBGK as the largest provider of legal aid in the country, and at the same time, the government also acknowledged the role of the Malaysian Bar in this initiative. The General Secretary of the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union, ABU, Ahmad Nadim, acknowledged that the existence of artificial intelligence, AI, will change the way news is reported in the current era. This is because, according to him, AI provides many convenient solutions to aid and facilitate the work of a journalist, and AI should be utilized completely.
So AI is on top of the agenda because there's a lot where we can use things like ChatGPT, for example, has been making a lot of waves around the world in a short period of time. But how can we use technologies like ChatGPT or even other AI technologies to improve news coverage, make it better for the audience as well as make it better for the journalists who are covering news. That's the idea. And of course, the other topic is about sustainability. I mean, this is one of the huge things post-pandemic that all organizations are focusing on, and we don't want to be left out. And the media organization broadcasters are really focusing on sustainability.
He added that the mainstream media is no longer the main outlet for news, which nowadays can be accessed at the tip of the fingers anytime, anywhere.
But you have to understand that news is everywhere. It is not 2008 or 2010. Everywhere you look, news is at fingertips. You can get everything you want through social media and everything. So what is the position of Asia Vision in all of this? That's for you to decide. How can we improve the value proposition that we have through your contributions at Asia Vision? How can we improve it further? How can it make it more valuable to all of you?
He said this in his speech at the Asia Pacific Broadcasting News Group meeting in Kuching earlier today. The 3-day program, themed AI, Leading Change and Inspiring a Greener Future, gathers industry players from all over the Asia Pacific region to discuss current issues. Also present were Eurovision News Exchange, EBU, and African Union of Broadcasting, AUB. The noble profession of a journalist comes with the risk of physical and emotional trauma, especially when reporting during times of death and disaster. Therefore, executive producer of current issues at ABS-CBN Broadcasting Corporation, Jamie Aaron S. Bollock, said it is important for media corporations to provide counselling for affected journalists.
All right. Whenever we deal with traumatic experiences, especially our journalists, what we actually do is we ask them to debrief. So there's a program handled by our company that actually offers our journalists, our staff, to unload their feelings, to debrief, so to speak, because they cannot keep it to themselves. Otherwise, it will probably affect their mental health. It will also affect their work, their lives. So what we do is we provide some sort of counseling for members of staff who went through a traumatic coverage, a traumatic experience, so that they will be able to handle these better.
According to him, counseling sessions are crucial for reporters to lighten the burden on their conscience so as to not negatively affect themselves and their careers. At the same time, Jamie said journalists should also know how to interact sympathetically and empathetically with victims who experience trauma.
I think sometimes one thing that is wrong is you ask them to recount what happened. So if you ask them, what happened to you? Can you tell us how did the tragedy happen? That's actually asking them to relive the trauma once again. We're asking them to go through that harrowing experience that they already experienced. So we don't want that. We don't want. We treat them with dignity. We treat them with respect. Sometimes when your subject is already crying, sometimes it's insensitive to ask them, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? Because we all know, because we have video, we already know how that they must be devastated because they're now crying.
He said this after joining the Journalist Safety and Trauma panel in the Global News Forum at the Asia Pacific Broadcasting News Group meeting in Kuching earlier today. Thank you for staying with us. Now, what was supposed to be a love story turned into blank space swiftly. And an engineer incurred a loss of 11,530 ringgit after falling victim to an online fraud syndicate that claimed to be selling tickets for the concert of renowned American singer Taylor Swift. Sarawak Police Commissioner Datuk Muhammad Azman Ahmad Sapri said the man in his 50s purchased 3 tickets after seeing the seller's advertisement on the e-commerce platform Carousel. The victim then proceeded to make the payment at a bank in Kuching City by conducting 3 separate payment transactions to the bank account provided by the suspect. However, after the payment transactions were made, the suspect could no longer be contacted, and the victim, realizing that he had been deceived, lodged a police report for further action. Swift, who is currently on her international tour, known as the Eras Tour, will be holding a concert in Singapore from 2nd to 4th March next year. On world news, President of the United States, Joe Biden, is currently on a 3-nation trip to the United Kingdom, UK, which will encompass a meeting with UK's Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and a summit with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization NATO in Lithuania to show Western resolve over the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Biden is also set to meet King Charles since he skipped his coronation in May. Now, Brits expect these events will foster a stronger bond between the two countries and hope that both countries will come up with an immediate policy or initiative to address climate change.
Probably not. They've probably got other agendas on their hands, and climate change is probably one of the last ones. But so it looks like they're doing something. They probably put climate, like we're talking about climate change. So yeah, I'll probably say not enough has been done.
Couldn't really say it, but I'm not a big Biden fan myself. So I'm from America, so yeah. Well, I hope they exist, though. Yeah, I hope they can figure things out. Yeah.
I think there's probably some more to be done, but you know, hopefully they get it sorted out eventually.
Now, parts of northern India experienced severe flooding due to heavy monsoon rains on Sunday, July 9th. The Gaga River overflowed in the Dera Basi region, leading to the rescue of approximately 80 individuals by the National Disaster Response Force.
तो मौसम विभाग ने भी इसको एक्सेप्ट किया है कि जो बारिश हुई शुक्रवार रात से शनिवार कल रात तक और कल शनिवार को 12 घंटे के अंदर जितनी मॉनसून की बारिश होती है मात्र 15% ही कल वो बारिश हो गई है और पिछले 20 सालों का रिकॉर्ड टूटा है। और रही बात तैयारियों की, हमारी तैयारियां पूरी तरह से थी, अब इस बार रिकॉर्ड टूटा है, इसीलिए जल भराव की समस्या वो बढ़ चढ़कर आई है।
The monsoon, which is crucial for India's 3 trillion rupee economy, provides vital water to farms and replenishes reservoirs and aquifers. It also brings relief from the intense summer heat.
घग्गर रिवर के ओवरफ्लो होने की वजह से सर गुलमोहर एक्सटेंशन डेरा बस्ती में सर पानी बुरी तरह से भर गया था। तो हमारी टीम ने यहाँ आके मॉर्निंग में 10 बजे नियर अबाउट 10 मॉर्निंग में सर ऑपरेशन स्टार्ट किया सर्च एंड रेस्क्यू का, और अपनी टीम्स के साथ बोट्स के साथ सर यहाँ पे लोगों को रेस्क्यू किया। नियर अबाउट 80 to 85 लोगों को यहाँ पे रेस्क्यू किया, और कुछ नीडीज थे जिनको खाने की ज़रूरत थी, रिक्वायरमेंट थी, तो वहाँ उनको खाना भी पहुँचाया गया सर। और आप देख रहे हैं कि मॉर्निंग में पानी का लेवल 10 से 12 फीट था, और उसके बाद अभी धीरे धीरे फ्लो कम हुआ है और सिचुएशन अंडर कंट्रोल है।
Typically, the monsoon begins in Kerala State on the southwest coast around June 1st and progresses northward to cover the entire country by July 8.
And finally, heavy casualties have resulted from continued clashes between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces RSF in Khartoum and its surrounding regions. According to Sudan's health ministry, 22 people were killed and numerous others wounded in airstrikes at Omdurman city alone. The conflict primarily occurred in Omdurman, which houses key military targets and serves as the supply base for RSF.
The Sudanese army deployed special forces to clear the RSF from the area, but encountered strong resistance, leading to ongoing battles. The Sudanese army claimed to have killed 20 RSF members and destroyed multiple combat vehicles, vowing to persist with the operation. The RSF accused the Sudanese army of conducting an airstrike, causing civilian casualties, to which the Sudanese army did not respond. The conflict has been ongoing for nearly 3 months, resulting in heavy civilian casualties and significant damage to infrastructures and residents. A resident of Omdurman appealed for both sides to engage in dialogue and urged the international community to pressure for an end to the conflict. The Sudanese Foreign Ministry stated that the chairman of the Sudanese Sovereign Council and General Commander of the Sudanese Army will not meet with the RSF commander under the current circumstances. The Quartet Committee on Sudan under the Intergovernmental Authority on Development plans to convene a meeting in Addis Ababa on July 10 and has extended invitations to the Sudanese leaders.
And that's all the time we have for tonight's TVS Nightline. My name is Mohammed Yusuf. Thank you so much for watching, and good night.